Sharjeel Imam has been named as an instigator in a charge sheet filed by the Delhi police in the Jamia and Friends Colony violence case. The Delhi police also mentions Popular Front of India and says that its role is being examined. Financial Action Task Force says that several terrorist groups continue to benefit from illegal funds raised despite tightening of standards. The week-long FATF plenary in Paris will decide Pakistan's fate on whether it will be put on the blacklist or not. The death toll due to the coronavirus crosses 1,800 in China. Japan to start trials using HIV treatment for coronavirus. In India, nearly 302 of the 406 persons who were held by the ITBP have been released. They had come from Wuhan at the ITBP facility in Delhi. In sports, Lionel Messi and Lewis Hamilton are joint winners of the Sportsman of the Year at the Laureus Awards, while Simone Biles has won the Sportswoman of the Year. Sachin Tendulkar, for the World Cup triumph home win in 2011, has received the Best Sporting Moment award. And Asian Wrestling Championship to begin in New Delhi today. The championships will have a total of 30 weight classes, 10 each in freestyle men, women and Greco-Roman.
Headlines was sponsored by Wonder Cement. Ek perfect shuruaat.
Namaskar and welcome to the news. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's our top story. The Delhi police has filed a charge sheet in the December 15 violence that took place in Jamia Millia Islamia and New Friends Colony area. The police have named the JNU student Sharjeel Imam in the charge sheet as an instigator. The police filed the charge sheet on February 13. According to the charge sheet, the police found empty bullet cartridges belonging to 3.2 mm pistol on the spot. No Jamia student has been named in the charge sheet. The police has also revealed that it is investigating the CCTV, call records and other statements of over 100 witnesses attached as evidence. The police are examining the role of the Popular Party, the Popular Front of India, which is a political party in fact, and seeing about their role as instigators in this violence. And Neeraj Singh has more on this story. Well, Neeraj, this is an FIR. It's named Sharjeel Imam and also Popular Front of India. What else does the FIR say?
देखिए बिल्कुल पुलिस ने जो चार्जशीट है वो फाइल कर दी है कोर्ट में और जिसमें इस बात का जिक्र किया गया है कि शर्जील इमाम है उसने वहां पर भड़काऊ भाषण दिए थे और तमाम जो लोग हैं उनको भड़काया था। इसके साथ साथ ही 15 दिसंबर को जिस तरह का वहां पर प्रदर्शन हुआ था, जिस तरह से बसों में आग लगाई गई थी, जिस तरीके से वहां पर तोड़-फोड़ की गई थी, तमाम जो सरकारी संपत्ति है उसको नुकसान पहुंचाया गया था, तो उसको लेकर 15 लोगों के खिलाफ जो चार्जशीट है वो दिल्ली पुलिस ने दायर की है और जिसमें ये जरूर है कि जामिया का कोई भी स्टूडेंट नहीं है उस चार्जशीट में। इसके साथ जो स्थानीय जो लोग हैं जो प्रदर्शन कर रहे थे वो उसमें शामिल है। इसके साथ ही जो PFI की जो भूमिका है उसके बारे में भी दिल्ली पुलिस ने अदालत को ये बताया है कि वो दिल्ली पुलिस उसकी जांच कर रही है कि PFI की जो भूमिका है वो किस तरह से है, क्योंकि इनपुट इस तरह के आए थे कि PFI ने इस तरह के धरना प्रदर्शन के लिए बड़े पैमाने पर फंडिंग की थी। इसके साथ साथ ही वहां पर जो कुछ बुलेट भी चार्जशीट में उनका जिक्र दिल्ली पुलिस ने किया है, जो 3.2 बोर के बुलेट थे, तो सामान्य तौर पर जो लाइसेंस लोग लेते हैं या जो बाजार में उपलब्ध रहते हैं वो जो है वो इस्तेमाल किए गए थे वहां पर, तो उन बुलेटों का भी जिक्र किया गया है। तो निश्चित तौर पर अब दिल्ली पुलिस ने अपनी जो चार्जशीट है वो फाइल कर दिया और दिल्ली पुलिस का ये कहना है कि शर्जील इमाम जो भड़काऊ भाषण दे रहा था और इसके साथ साथ ही 15 जो लोग थे वो वहां पर तोड़ कर रहे थे, सरकारी संपत्ति को नुकसान पहुंचा रहे थे और फायर है वो भी किया गया।
Yes, but Neeraj, you know, apart from instigating the mob, let's say through a speech, is there anything mentioned? What are the exact words of the charge sheet in a sense? You know, what provisions of the IPC have been invoked against Sharjeel Imam and the PFI?
देखिए बिल्कुल मार्क, जिस तरीके से चार्जशीट दिल्ली पुलिस ने फाइल की है इसमें निश्चित तौर पर देशद्रोह का जो मामला है वो भी है और इसके साथ साथ ही जिस तरह से धरना प्रदर्शन किया गया और उसका जो हिंसक रूप है वो धारण किया गया था, उसको लेकर भी कई सारी जो धाराएं हैं दिल्ली पुलिस ने लगाई हैं। इसके साथ साथ ही सरकारी संपत्तियों को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए जिस तरह की जो कोशिशें हैं वो की गई है, और यही कारण है कि 15 जो लोग हैं उनका जिक्र किया गया है, जो स्थानीय लोग हैं, कि वहां पर तोड़फोड़ की गई, लोगों के साथ मारपीट की गई, सरकारी बसों में आग लगाई गई थी, प्राइवेट जो संपत्तियां उनको नुकसान पहुंचाया गया था। इसके साथ ही बड़े पैमाने पर जो बाइक है, जो लोगों की बाइक, मोटर बाइक, उनको भी आग के हवाले किया गया। तो ये तमाम जो धाराएं हैं तोड़फोड़ से रिलेटेड, वो दिल्ली पुलिस ने अपनी चार्जशीट में लगाई।
Right. Thanks very much, Neeraj, for those inputs. Moving on to our next story, the FATF had yesterday said that several terrorist groups continue to benefit from funds raised through illegal activities and from supporters worldwide, despite the international terror financing watchdog tightening the standards on the flow of money. India has maintained that Pakistan extends regular support to terror groups like the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Hizbul Mujahideen, whose prime target is India, and has urged the FATF to take action against Islamabad. The week-long FATF plenary is currently on in Paris, and it will decide whether Pakistan continues on the FATF's grey list or is put on the blacklist. The FATF is an international body. It's a governmental body, international governmental body, intergovernmental in fact. It was established in 1989. It combats money laundering, terrorist financing and other threats related to the international financial system. 39 members currently exist in this body, and 2 regional organizations too are part of them. They are the European Commission, the European Commission and the Gulf Cooperation Council. So India is a member of FATF and also the Asia Pacific Group, and if Pakistan continues on the grey list, it will be difficult for Pakistan to get financial aid from the IMF, the World Bank, the ADB or any other institution, including the European Union, and thus further it will enhance the problems that Pakistan faces, which is in a precarious financial situation. The death toll from China's coronavirus epidemic climbed to 1,868 this morning as 98 more people died, while the total number of confirmed cases jumped to 72,436. Of the new deaths, 93 were reported from Hubei province, the epicenter of the virus, 3 from Henan and 1 each from Hubei and Hunan. Hubei, in fact, has reported 1,807 new cases, taking the total, in fact, of those who have been infected to 59,938 in Hubei province itself. Another 1,432 are new suspected cases reported from the rest of China. The World Health Organization has, in the meantime, warned against blanket measures over the novel coronavirus outbreak, pointing out that the epidemic outside of China was only affecting a very tiny proportion of the population. So the WHO has said that with the mortality rate of just 2%, COVID-19 was less deadly than the other coronaviruses, which were SARS and MERS. SARS is the acute respiratory syndrome, and Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome is MERS. So the WHO rejected the suggestions that all cruises, in fact, should be halted to avoid risking a new nest of infection like the one of the coronavirus Diamond Princess, which is of Japan. And now that we brought Japan into the subject, well, Japan is planning to take the HIV trial kind of medications onto to begin treatment of infected patients of coronavirus and see whether it makes a difference. As the growing number of cases poses an increasing threat to the country's economy as well as the public health issue. So the total number of confirmed cases, in fact, in Japan is about 520 as of Monday, including 454 which are on the Diamond Princess itself, which is a ship that's quarantined off the Yokohama coast. And 1 person has died, in fact, from the virus so far in Japan. Japan's economy is contracting, raising a risk of recession. The spread of the virus has prompted Tokyo to put limits on public crowds, while some companies have begun to urge employees to work from their homes. Tokyo's HIV treatment trials come as those drugs have been touted as potential cure for the coronavirus around the world. With no therapy proven 100% effective against the virus so far, close to 1,900 people have died of the epidemic in mainland China. People in China have begun exploring unorthodox ways of obtaining treatments. Some of them have been appealing to HIV patients and unauthorized importers of the medicine. So in Thailand, in fact, meanwhile, doctors have said that there appears to have been some success in treating severe cases of coronavirus with a combination of medications for flu and HIV. Till 1 p.m. today, a total of 302 people of the 406 who were housed at the ITBP quarantine facility in Chawla after being brought back from Wuhan have been released. All the 406 have tested negative for the novel coronavirus in the latest sample examination and are being discharged in a phased manner. It is likely that all 406 will be discharged by tomorrow early morning. This is from the ITBP Chawla Center. All released persons are advised to remain self-isolated for the next 14 days in their respective homes. They are also advised to do certain things, and do's and don'ts, in fact, have been given to them. Many of the people who were told that they would be allowed to go from the center celebrated that moment by dancing and singing impromptu. That was, they were obviously very happy. A total of 650 people were brought back from Wuhan in China on February 1 and 2. Two Boeing 747 planes of Air India were used for the purpose and bringing back stranded Indians from Wuhan, while 406 of the 650 plus, they are being lodged at the ITBP facility. The rest of them were at the Army Center in Manesar in Haryana. Now, the Supreme Court has adjourned the petition filed by the fugitive liquor baron Vijay Mallya against proceedings initiated by the Enforcement Directorate to seize his assets in India. The next proceedings will be on March, in March sometime. And in the petition filed last year, Mallya submitted that no properties other than those related to Kingfisher Airlines, which is facing cases of alleged irregularities, should be attached. Now let's take a look at news coming in from the 13th Conference of Parties. This is to the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals. It's being held at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. And speaking exclusively to DD News, the Secretary in the Environment Ministry, C.K. Mishra, said that India's role in COP13, and he spoke about that. He also spoke about what will be top of the agenda at COP13.
सेंट्रल एशियन फ्लाईवे हमारा प्रमुख मुद्दा रहेगा. हम बहुत जोर से इस बार मरीन लिटर का मुद्दा लोगों के सामने रखेंगे, क्योंकि मरीन लिटर एक विशेषकर के प्लास्टिक के पृष्ठभूमि में बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण इशू बन गया है. और हम चाहते हैं कि इस तरह के जो देश हैं, आसियान के जो देश हैं, इसमें जो देश हैं, सब मिलके मरीन लिटर पे काम करें. तो वो एक हमारा दूसरा मुद्दा होगा. तीसरा जो हम बहुत मजबूती से रखना चाहेंगे कि जो कॉरिडोर्स हैं जानवरों के, जो दूसरे देश की बाउंड्री से लगते हैं, सुंदरबंस हैं, एलिफेंट कॉरिडोर्स हैं, इस तरह के जो कॉरिडोर्स हैं उसमें कैसे बायलैटरली द्विपक्षीय रूप से दो देश मिलकर काम कर सकते हैं.
And speaking to DD News, the Secretary General of Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, Martha Rojas Urrego, praised the efforts made by the Government of India designating and implementing policies for wetlands. She said that the Government of India is helping state governments in the management of wetlands, and this is commendable.
I am very impressed with the different meetings that I have had with the Indian government, because not only they have designated these sites, but they have put in place policies that are being implemented by the states, whereby they are giving more attention and valuing the wetlands. So they are looking at issues like the health of the different wetlands to identify where there is a need for more efforts, where, for example, there is a degradation of these wetlands, and then they know where to put the efforts, and the government is helping the states also to achieve a better management of the different types of wetlands that the states have.
The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, who is in Brussels, held talks with leaders of the European Union on bilateral issues. The EAM met the European Trade Commissioner Phil Hogan and discussed prospects for India-EU economic cooperation. Prior to this, the minister held talks with the European Council President Charles Michel, the Executive Vice President for the European Green Deal, and the European Union Commissioner for International Partnerships. The External Affairs Minister held a productive discussion with the foreign ministers, ambassadors and senior leaders at the Foreign Affairs Council of the European Union in Brussels. Mr. S. Jaishankar, who is in Germany during the weekend for the Munich Security Conference, arrived in Brussels and in fact met with his Belgian counterpart Philippe Goffin on Monday. The U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders stepped up his attacks on the former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg during a campaign rally in Tacoma in Washington. Sanders has been campaigning and he's been comparing Bloomberg, who is also running on a Democrat nomination, with the Republican President Donald Trump, saying that both of them were billionaires trying to use their wealth to bend a corrupt political system. Sanders leads the polls nationally and in Nevada, where the next nominating contest will be held on Saturday after strong finishes in the first two contests in Iowa and New Hampshire. Meanwhile, the Democratic presidential hopeful candidate Joe Biden offered his views on what went wrong in the first states to vote in the Democratic presidential race in New Hampshire. Biden posted a fifth-place finish, and the dismal performance came just 8 days after the Iowa caucus, where Biden finished fourth. The back-to-back stumbles have created a difficult situation for Biden, who must perform well in the upcoming contests in Nevada and South Carolina this month. This is to show voters and donors that his candidacy remains viable. Biden, the affable former vice president, has tried to downplay his early struggles. The U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren took some pot shots at billionaires, including rival Michael Bloomberg, and she made a pitch for Democratic unity as she campaigned in Nevada. Warren, touting her wealth tax, said that it might make some billionaires cry, and told supporters it was the fear of it that may have drawn billionaire Michael Bloomberg into the race. She also touted how she had adopted ideas from candidates who had left the Democratic race. Warren's showing in New Hampshire, coupled with a third-place finish in Iowa, was a stinging tumble for the U.S. Senator from Massachusetts, who as recently as September led the polls in the state that neighbors her own. She now faces, in fact, pressure to recalibrate on the fly to remain competitive. With more than 1,000 staff across 31 states, Warren controls the most expensive, in fact, it's an extensive campaign. It's a big infrastructure. This is, in fact, the biggest for any candidate aside of the former New York City mayor, who is Mike Bloomberg. Jeff Bezos, who's the founder and CEO of Amazon and the world's richest man, has said that he was committing $10 billion to a new fund to tackle climate change. In an Instagram post, the e-commerce tycoon said that the Earth Fund, it's called the Bezos Earth Fund, it would fund students, activists, NGOs, any effort that offers a real possibility to help preserve and protect the natural world. Bezos said that his new foundation would begin issuing grants this summer. Last September, Bezos said that Amazon would pledge to become carbon neutral by 2040 and said that the company would order 1 lakh electric delivery trucks. And some sports news now. The Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton and Barcelona forward Lionel Messi were declared joint winners of the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award in Berlin on Monday, with the voting tied for the first time in the award's 20-year history. Hamilton won his 6th World Championship in 2019 with 11 race wins and 17 podium finishes, and Messi was crowned the world's best player for a record 6th time when he won the Ballon d'Or. The former Indian batsman Sachin Tendulkar, the highest run scorer of all time in international cricket, had the support of cricket-crazy fans to win a fan vote for the award for the best sporting moment from the last 2 decades. And in his sixth and final one-day International World Cup in 2011, Tendulkar finally got his hands on the title as India won on home soil, and he was carried on his teammates' shoulders for a lap of honor, and that was the award that he won, best sporting moment in the last 20 years.
To be holding this trophy, I would like to thank the Laureus Academy members for giving this memory to me. I think this is really special.
India claimed 5 silver and 6 bronze medals at the ongoing 2020 Asian Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championships in Tashkent in Uzbekistan. In 45 kilogram category, KVL Pavani Kumari won silver in both the youth girls and the junior women's section, and Siddhanta Gogoi claimed silver in the youth boys and junior men's events. This is in the 61 kg category. Mukund Ahir in the 49 kg category then clinched the silver in the youth boys category with a lift of 189 kilograms. In 45 kilogram category, Harshada Gaud clinched the bronze medal. So the other lifters also to win bronze medals were Boni Manghya, Namrata Devi, S. Guru Naidu and Golom Tinku. A total of 197 athletes from 20 countries, the Asian countries, are participating in this event. And that's all we have in this news bulletin. Thank you for being with us. Namaskar.